2025 International Conference on Judicial Integrity and Judicial Wellbeing today began at the APEC House, hosted by the PNG Judiciary, United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, and the Commonwealth Secretariat. The three-day conference, which began today, will end on August 22, 2025. This is a follow-up from the Regional Judicial Conference held in Nauru from the 24th to the 26th July 2024, where the Nauru Declaration on Judicial Wellbeing was adopted on 25th July 2024. According to the UNODC Pacific, the conference brings together judges, judicial authorities, and experts from around the world, especially the Pacific region, where participants will discuss emerging trends and challenges relating to judiciary integrity and well-being.
No pressure factor, vicarious trauma, so traumas that are coming from having to see lots of difficult story or difficult moments for victims in front of them for every day. So how do judges and judicial officers work with that? We'll be also discussing about surveys that have been conducted in the region or will be conducted in the region to understand better, to really have evidence. It's always very difficult to understand. There might be some small anecdotes, but what does it mean in terms of getting the information out there? So the survey, we'll have really also AI is one, how can we use AI to help the judges, but what also are the challenges that are coming for AI and that can be sometimes detrimental to judges. So those are some topics. There'll be more because there are 3 days of conference and with also parallel sessions. So there's a lot of things that will be discussed.
Prime Minister James Marape, who has been a state witness in the State versus Yafai case since 2013, has welcomed the court's decision yesterday that found former Deputy Finance Secretary Jacob Yafai guilty of all 5 charges, describing this decision as a significant milestone in the fight against corruption. He also stated that this case should remind everyone that no one is above the law. Marape, in consistency with the court's findings, said his instructions at the time was to verify claims and only pay what was genuine. He said, "Let this judgment be a timely reminder that no matter how long it takes, justice will prevail, and warned that no one can escape accountability if matters are properly investigated and prosecuted." The jury in the Supreme Court trial of Matt Wright has heard he asked the pilot to survive the fatal helicopter crash at the center of the case to falsify flight records while he was recovering in the hospital. Mr. Wright has pleaded not guilty to 3 counts of attempting to pervert the course of justice following the 2022 crash, which killed his close friend and television co-star Chris Wilson and seriously injured the pilot. Mr. Wright has denied the allegations against him.
The older brother, then the mother, those closest to pilot Sebastian Robinson taking the stand in the trial of Matt Wright. Zachary Chellingworth today told the court he remembers Mr. Wright visiting his little brother in hospital days after he survived the 2022 helicopter crash. He said during that visit, Mr. Wright asked his brother to falsify helicopter flight records, but said he never saw Mr. Wright touching or deleting things from Mr. Robinson's mobile phone. Mr. Chellingworth said he was aware investigators were examining whether the crashed helicopter had run out of fuel, but he denied colluding with other family members to help his brother avoid possible blame for the accident. "I'm suggesting to you that that's why you and your mother and your brother manufactured these allegations against Mr. Wright. You're wrong. Manufactured this allegation about him asking to transfer hours from IDW to ZXZ. It's a lie. It never happened. It's not a lie. I'm telling the truth." Under cross-examination by the defence, the witness was asked why he didn't intervene more forcefully to stop Mr. Wright allegedly pressuring his little brother. Zach Chellingworth told the court it was very tense and emotional in the hospital room and it was hard to gather his thoughts. It was extremely tense and emotional because Mr. Wright was expressing his concern for the welfare of your brother. No, he wasn't. He was trying to help your brother, wasn't he? No. He was trying to help your brother clean up the mess he left behind. No. Mr. Chellingworth told the court he was aware of his little brother's occasional use of cocaine. He said the only time he'd seen his brother use the drug was at his bucks party on a boat owned by Mr. Wright. He said he wasn't aware of Mr. Wright's zero-tolerance drug policy. Mr. Robinson's mother, Nolene Chellingworth, took the stand this afternoon, telling the court she too witnessed Matt Wright asking her son to falsify his helicopter flying hours. A family still coming to terms with tragedy, forced to relive every moment.
Josh Hines and Manubo have been issued an eviction notice for their tiny home on wheels in the Baga Valley. It comes as the local council calls on the New South Wales government to clarify definitions and approval pathways for movable dwellings.
Josh and Manu's home may be small, but it fits everything they need.
It's about as long as the biggest crocodile that was ever recorded, but it's not quite as tall as the average giraffe.
The couple built the tiny home in the Bega Valley 2 years ago. They consider it to be a caravan, which generally doesn't require approval in New South Wales.
It sits atop a registrable trailer and it has the ability to be registered as a caravan.
The local council doesn't agree and has issued an eviction notice.
We're very shocked and sad as well.
Council's telling us one thing, that it's a structure. We're pretty certain it's a caravan.
Across the valley, other movable units are also in dispute with the council.
This all comes back into a container. They come on a trailer and they are a movable dwelling. And so we always assumed that they would fit that definition.
Mick Brosnan has been unable to get approval for 3 movable units used as crisis accommodation.
When you're young or you're facing domestic violence, where do you go? You've got that crisis, you need somewhere transitional.
Mr. Brosnan says the units fill a gap in the region.
The community has to be more flexible in the way it considers housing.
We don't want to see anyone without a roof over their head. At the same time, we want to see people actually play by the rules and lodge their DA if that's the right way.
Councils are responsible for regulating and approving individual dwellings, but any local policy changes require state government support. That's holding back a trial of tiny homes in another part of New South Wales. Shellharbour Council says it's still working through a complex legislative pathway to get its pilot project up and running.
The state government released draft changes to the legislation that deals with movable dwellings nearly 2 years ago. The Department of Planning told the ABC it's still working on those reforms, but it says a separate approval policy for tiny homes is not necessary.
We'd love to just be able to have the authority ourselves to make the decision that suits the council and also the people and the residents of the Bega Valley Shire.
The social justice advocates have taken Bega Valley Shire Council to the Land and Environment Court, with a hearing set for December.
I don't want to fight council, it's not in my interest at all. But I am going to house people. That's a fact.
Manu and Josh are under direction to leave their home in September. They're also appealing.
Of course we're going to fight for it because this is our home.
The tiny homes at the centre of a big debate.
Back home, a historic milestone has been reached by the 12 landowner villages of Octedi Mine with the launch of Milum Aviation. This new airline is set to transform connectivity and development in Papua New Guinea, with the first 3 Dash 8 planes purchased and ready to take flight, together with a twin Otter Hat is already in service with PNG Air.
Milum Aviation was launched in Tabubil yesterday and has been described as a historic milestone for landowners of the Octedi Mine. The day began with the unveiling of 3 aircrafts at the Dash 8 hangar. accompanied by cultural performances and the ribbon-cutting ceremony. Guests then gathered at the Tabubil Country Club for the launch dinner, where landowners, government leaders, business executives and partners reflected on the significance of the achievement. Among them was Aubrey De Souza, CEO of Milum Group of Companies and the Octedi Trust, who highlighted that this was not the landowner's first step into aviation. He explained that the trust had purchased its first Twin Otter in 2004, leasing it to Airlines PNG, before expanding into other investments such as hotels, buildings and shares. Now, with the purchase of 3 new aircrafts in July this year, De Souza said the trust had come full circle, returning to aviation with stronger capacity and vision. He noted that the trust currently holds assets valued at over 200 million kina, representing the collective wealth of 7,000 beneficiaries. The partnership with Pacific Direct was also described as a key driver for ensuring strong returns into the future. As a gesture of recognition, one of the aircraft was named De Souza Spirit in his honor, alongside Ilimbit Dream and Asikim Pride. The launch, supported by Octedi Mining Limited, was described as a symbol of resilience and unity, with the airline expected to deliver new opportunities, create jobs and improve connectivity for remote communities in Papua New Guinea. Darren Moncrief, CEO of Pacific Direct, described the launch as the result of persistence, leadership and unity. He said the partnership between landowners, OTML and Pacific Direct had transformed a long-held dream into reality. Salome Vincent, TVWAN News.
PNG Defence Force exercise on Top Long Haul 2025 makes a final leg with the Long Range Reconnaissance Unit handing over the baton to 1st Battalion Royal Pacific Islands Regiment at Malalua Station, Gulf Province today. 16 IRPIR soldiers from Tarama Barracks and Goldie in Port Moresby now walk with the baton to Port Moresby. The team is expected to arrive in the nation's capital on September 1st, 2025. Exercise Antap Long Haul 2025 is a symbolic walk retracing a historic route from Moyne Barracks in Wewak to Port Moresby. The walk is a reenactment of a similar march in 1975 where soldiers delivered an independence message from the PNGDF to the government as the country was preparing for its independence. In sports, PNG NRL franchise CEO Andrew Hill has again emphasized the importance of community involvement in determining a team name, design, colors, and team song for the new NRL franchise, as it will help cultivate a sense of pride and ownership among the people of Papua New Guinea. PNG NRL franchise CEO Andrew Hill encouraged everyone to participate in the competition and submit their entries, promising a significant prize for the winner.
First of all is come up with a name. We then will be able to go back to the community and the people of PNG to start to talk about what the mascot might be. We can't have a mascot before we have the name. Once we have the name and the mascot, then we can talk about colours. Once we talk about the name, the colours, the mascot, we can talk about a team song. We can start engaging primary school students to help us come up with a jersey design. We can start talking to church groups and senior high school students about what the team song can be. This truly is a strategy to bring people along. So we're not rushing it just to find an answer. We're taking our time to make sure that people of PNG can see that we're doing this properly. There's thought behind it. So the first process is a name. No, there's only one Name the Team campaign. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you feel connected to PNG and you want your voice heard, log on to that website and tell us what your thoughts will be. There'll only be one prize for the winner.
And that ends our news update. Do join us at 6 p.m. for more. Bye for now.